I just purchased someone's entire Nintendo GameCube collection, which includes 24 games and some controllers. I paid $360 for it. Let's see how I did and what everything is actually worth. Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here from my channel Nintendo Collecting. Not only did I get games like Animal Crossing, Kirby's Air Ride, and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, but I got games that are much rarer than this and much more expensive than this. So I'm going to go through all the games in order from the lowest cost to the highest cost of what they're selling on average on eBay and on video game price charting. Now, to give you some background about how I found this collection, because deals are harder and harder to find, and especially because of the GameCube prices are skyrocketing. I made a video specific to that. If you're interested, there's a card up in the right-hand corner. But with the GameCube, on my lunch one day, I was browsing Facebook Marketplace and I saw someone put up their GameCube collection and they were asking roughly $180 for it. They said it came with 24 games and some controllers. I immediately messaged them and basically offered $200 to buy it. And after some back and forth, eventually there were several people interested in buying everything. And I kind of just asked, like, hey, you have some really rare games. I would love to buy the collection off of you, the whole thing. However, you should be well informed. And I actually sent him the link to pricecharting.com so that he could look at all the prices for everything. Ultimately, I offered him double what he asked for, so $360, and I was able to purchase his entire collection. So I'm going to go through all the games, and I'm going to go through them from the lowest to the highest, but first, just to talk briefly about the system that I got. So this is a blue indigo system. This will go to one of my friends, actually. They're going to pay me a really good discounted rate, considering I didn't pay that much for this. So just the console itself, usually I would price something like this at probably about $50. Of course, when you get the console, you're going to want to make sure that you get the cables and the connectors. So it does come with those as well. So those included for $50 is roughly the price. I'm going to keep these out of the video just for now because they don't look that great. Also with it is a matching indigo blue controller. The indigo blue controller, this one, is selling pretty well, but it's like $30 to $33 just for this controller on its own usually. Then we have a platinum controller. This one's also in pretty good condition. I would put this one at $33 as well. There's just a little bit of grime that I'm going to try and get off of the controller and off of the joystick. And there was a third controller that came in the deal. However, this platinum controller does not have the thumb cover on the joystick. So this one I would price at probably around $25 if I'm looking at something like price charting. Along with this set, there were two memory cards. So these memory cards come from two different companies. One of these is worth, I would say, like only $6, and there's two of them. So one's Hip Gear, one has an eye on it. I can't remember what company this would be specifically, but you can comment below and let me know what company has an eye on it. Is it Initech or something like that? Because that's what I think it is. So $6 each for these. So essentially what this means is, after I bought the system and the controllers, I had already paid a bunch of the budget. So after I take away all of that money, essentially what I'm thinking with all the games that are left, I'm paying roughly on average $11 a game after I got the system and everything like that. So I want you to just keep in mind while I go through this entire list, $11 a game. Is this a good deal for $11 a game? Not only these three, of course, it's going to be a good deal, but I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. So the worst buy in this entire thing is a case that doesn't even have the plastic on it, so you could insert a case or a cover. It doesn't even have that. It's being ripped off. This is an official GameCube case, but it's completely ruined, and inside is Star Wars 2, Lego Star Wars 2. This one I only put a value of $5 on, so not very much at all. That's the least expensive thing, obviously, in this entire set. I think I'm going to do this and stack them up, maybe, beside the GameCube. Alright, next up is the prequel to that is Lego Star Wars. It's really confusing with the whole Star Wars universe. This one I put a value of $9 on. This one does come complete, so it does have everything, including the manual and the disc. So Is that a good deal for $11? No. Both of those I'd be losing money if I was thinking about $11 a game. Another thing that's kind of viral on the internet, this is Shrek 2. This is hilarious to me, but I'm not really sure if I'll keep this in my collection. I don't own this one yet, so I might hold on to it, I might not. It's a player's choice, so even if I want to hold on to it, I'd probably want to replace it. But this is just, honestly, I don't think it's that great of a game, but I'm not sure. I haven't played it before. This is $10. So again, I would be losing money on this one. And I think it's time we just get rid of these three as well. Okay, next up is another player's choice game. This is The Sims Busting Out. Now, this one I put a price point of $10 as well. This one does have complete box and manual, so $10 still kind of losing money so far with these games, but they're going to go way up pretty soon. Next up, $1 more at $11. This is Need for Speed Underground. I need this in my collection. This one is complete. And I also need Sims Busting Out in my collection as well. But that one is player's choice, so I might want to replace it anyways. I had the Need for Speed games growing up. I had Need for Speed Carbon that I loved to play, and Most Wanted, and I got rid of them. So I want to get all the Need for Speed games again for the Nintendo GameCube, so it's great to get that one. Next up is a game that I didn't think this would be worth over $10. This is TMNT. The only problem with this one is it's not an official case and it doesn't have the manual. So this one's at $10 or $11 as well. Not very good, but I could probably switch this out to a separate case. It's just the only one I think in this set that came with a DVD case and not the official case. Next up at $12, so we're just barely making more than what we expect from the $11 per game price point. This is Bad Boys Miami Takedown, another game I don't have in my collection. I do have to clean these up a little bit, so just keep that in mind. This manual is not in the perfect shape, but it's actually meant to look damaged around here, so that always fooled me. There's a little bit of the black around here, and then it looks like it's damaged. So complete anyways. Pretty good. Don't have that in my collection yet anyways. And some of these I'm not sure if I'll keep them in. I usually only keep really good games or really rare games in my collection. I don't necessarily just keep any game just for the sake of it, unless I'm going for a complete GameCube collection, which would be pretty fun actually. Next up is Sphinx. So this one is not that common. I don't see it all that often. This one I have a price point of I think $12 from Video Game Price Charting. It is complete as well. Pretty cool. I haven't played this one yet at all, so I have no thoughts on that one. Alright, a really, really good game on the system for the Nintendo GameCube, and this is Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. I think there's 3 different Prince of Persia games for the Nintendo GameCube. This one, Warrior Within, and there's one more, like the Two Thrones, but I might be blanking on that one. So this one, the price went up just a little bit. This one's at $16. Now we're definitely starting to make a little bit of money per game. I do need to clean this up and kind of take the sticker off and remove it. Usually I do that with some sort of removal, like nail polish removal, but you just have to be really careful. This is a game that I've never really seen before in the wild. I don't think this is rare at all, and I don't even think this is very good, but who knows? I haven't tried it yet. This is Freestyle. Maybe this game's awesome. It's made by EA. I do not know. But this one has a price point of $18. I don't have this in my collection yet, so I might throw it on my shelf for a while anyways and try it out and see if I like it. And if I don't, I'll probably be getting rid of that at some point. But again, another game I don't have. Next up, a fantastic fighting game, and Link is in this game. This is the reason to mainly get Soul Calibur 2 for the Nintendo GameCube, a must-have made by Namco on this system. Like I said, Link's playable in this one, which is pretty neat. So this one sells for, I think, around $24 US. And yeah, it's got everything. So that's really good. There might be some inserts that are missing in these, by the way. As long as it had the manual, I was really happy. This next game is part of my childhood. This is Star Fox Adventures. This is a lot like The Legend of Zelda Light. It's basically, from the story, from what I heard, Rareware made this game. They made great games on the N64, like Donkey Kong and Banjo-Kazooie and Conker's Bad Fur Day and GoldenEye and Perfect Dark and so forth. They made this game for the GameCube, and essentially it was called Dinosaur Planet. I remember reading about it in a magazine, and then Miyamoto said, hey, you guys have a fox in your game, we have a fox, let's slap on Star Fox Adventures. And I remember playing this as a kid and then going into space and finally being in your R-Wing and being really excited for the space combat, and that was almost nothing in the game. It's really brief, they just shoehorned it in there, but this is actually really fun. My wife played this one as well. We both beat this game growing up. So this one sells for 24 US dollars, I would say, as well. So we're more than doubling our money on the games already. Next up is a Legend of Zelda game. This is the Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventures. This is the player's choice version. It does come complete. This is a fantastic time if you use the Game Boy Advance link cable, and it says 1 player, but really you can play this 4 players. I daisy-chained 5 Nintendo GameCubes together with 5 TVs with Game Boy Advance players, and we played this during a Zeldathon as a bonus game. It was a blast. I loved going into caverns and playing through this kind of on your own with your friends at the same time. That game's fantastic as a multiplayer Zelda game. I really enjoy it. Next up is a must-have game on the system. I think this was out on the Sega Dreamcast, though, as well. This is Super Monkey Ball 2. It's unfortunate that this is a player's choice version, but it's in really good condition. It has everything, I think, with it. So, overall, I'm pretty happy to get this game with it as well. This is a game that I really think needs to come out on the Switch, and I think it is. I'm pretty sure there was an announcement that these games are coming to the Nintendo Switch, or at least they're sequels or something like that. This is valued at 29 US dollars. Just want to make sure I'm closing these so they actually stay up. Alright, now we're getting into some slightly big hitters. These are games over $30. The first one up is Sonic Adventure Director's Cut, or DX. This one is a port of the Sega Dreamcast, but it does have some updates as well. This is again part of my childhood. The manual is here, but it's the wrong way, so I'm just going to flip that around. There is some slight damage to this manual that I don't know if I can get rid of that, but overall, otherwise, it's in pretty good shape, especially the case. And it's a Black Label game, so that's really cool to see. So this one, I would put a price tag of exactly $30 on, as I said. Now we have a pretty big jump up in terms of cost. So this is the sequel. This is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I liked this game a lot more growing up. I loved playing as Shadow and as Sonic. The other levels for the other characters I wasn't as interested in. The Tails and Dr. Robotnik levels were alright, but the Rouge and Knuckles levels were just really too slow for me. It was like a fetch, find quest, hide and seek, kind of try and find gems hidden in the ground, and it was a beaking sensor. But this game had the Chow Garden, which I really enjoyed. So this one actually has a value of 38 US dollars. Next up, we have a game that is completely underrated, and only now are people finding out how good this series is, and it's exclusive to the GameCube. This is Baten Kaitos Eternal Wings in the Lost Ocean. This game was released first, but it's actually the second game in the series, even though it was released first. Such a mess. I do have to clean up this case a little bit, but it does come with 2 discs and the manual in really good condition, and it also has a sticker on it from GameStop or EB Games. But overall, these games, I think, are definitely worth their dollar. They're excellent. I love playing through this. If you've never played this before, it's a card-building game RPG. So when you're in battle, you're calling upon your cards, you can chain them together to get stronger and stronger attacks off, and it's a really immersive RPG experience with cards. So I really enjoyed this one especially. So this one has a price tag of 46 US dollars, way beyond the $11 price tag per game. Next up is Mario Party 7. So Mario Party 7 is roughly at 54 or 55 US dollars. This one is not quite complete, so I'd probably put this down lower near 50 US dollars, especially without the manual, but otherwise it's in pretty good condition. I might try and find a manual and just complete this. Comment below if you ever buy things in pieces. For example, Earthbound for the Super Nintendo cost way too much money, so that's something that I got the cart first, then I got the guide, then I got the big box, and I bought it in pieces, so I might try and find a manual for this one. So it's over $50. It depends. Prices for that one go up and go down. And there's also a big box version of that, by the way. There's the same price roughly, but maybe a little bit more. This one's tough to price. This is Animal Crossing that includes the memory card. So this is in really good condition, and the only problem with it, maybe there's some codes on here, that's really cool. So the main problem with this is the memory card has some writing on it. There's a little bit of damage here to the manual. So I would probably put this at a roughly $55 US. It could go for probably more if it was in better shape. And it is a Player's Choice version, as I said. And it's even the Canadian Player's Choice version because it has 2 languages up here. So that's a little note as well. Next up, we have another potential big box game, but this is not the big box variation. This is Mario Party 6. So this one, I have it at roughly 50... Oh, I skipped one. Before Mario Party 6 in order, but you know that one's coming, so I'll just leave that one on the side. We have Kirby's Air Ride, or just Kirby Air Ride. I always say Kirby's Air Ride, but Kirby Air Ride. This is a really interesting kind of racing game. It's very, very popular on the system. It's made by HAL Laboratory. I didn't mention it in my previous guide of some pricing for the GameCube, and a lot of people were asking about it. So this one's a black label. This one I put at $57 US. It does sometimes sell for more than that. Sometimes for an auction you can find it for less, but $57. So now we get to Mario Party 6. My favorite Mario Party on the Nintendo GameCube. What's your favorite Mario Party on the Nintendo GameCube? This one does have everything. There's also an insert which I'm really curious about. I don't know if this game's supposed to come with this insert. I think it does, but it's really weird to see Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, or whatever it is, here, considering it's Mario Party 6. So I have seen a few of them on eBay with this included, which is really weird. This one has a much higher price tag. For some reason right now, this game's selling for over $70, almost $75 US for Mario Party 6. Alright, now we're into the top 3 games for this. This one, I was shocked when I saw this in the pictures. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to pick this up. This is Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2. This one does come complete with the... You have the little code here that I don't want to show just in case we can still use it online. It even has the Sega insert for going online and the manual and the disc. This is getting up there to a rarer game on the GameCube. The rarer version of this is Episode 1 and 2 Plus. So I wish that that was that copy, but it's not. This one sells for roughly $80 US, getting way up there. Second last game, over $90 right now, is Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. This has been steadily increasing, and it has a really cool insert, several of the inserts, and even the manual eventually all the way at the back. So because this is so complete, this one sells for roughly $93 in this condition. Really cool game. Last game. This is Baten Kaitos Origins. I have this in my collection, factory sealed. I didn't want to have it factory sealed. I want to play it, but when I bought it from Toys R Us for under $20 US, I found 2 copies factory sealed. I bought both of them. This was well over 10 years ago, I think. I was shocked that they still had GameCube games, and ever since then I've been hunting for a copy of Baten Kaitos Origins that's open so I can play it and eventually trade off or sell my sealed copies of the game. This one's over $100. This one's $101. That is a ton of money. This one's in great condition. I've never played this one very much. I mean, actually, that's not true. My friend had a copy of this game, and I kind of played it with him a little bit. It has the sticker tag on from GameStop or EB Games of $40. It's worth $101 right now. It's the main game in this collection that's over $100. These are the 24 games that I got from the Nintendo GameCube collection that I purchased, as well as the 3 controllers that came with the system and the 2 memory cards. Once I totaled everything up from price charting and tried to look at the data, I paid $360 for this entire collection. I would say this collection is worth $1,001 after I totaled everything together on price charting, even with this being like a $5 game all the way up to $101 game. This is why, if you can do it, and you can find it and get lucky and be patient, hopefully you might be able to find a collection for something like this, where I need maybe half of these games to add them to my collection. The rest of them, I am going to save as trading pieces. I may consider selling them, and this is how people eventually collect on a budget and collect, and people kind of say my collection was free. This is why it's free. If you can do something like this, pay $360 US, get 10 games that you want that are worth more than $360 on their own, and then sell off or trade all the rest of it, make a little bit of profit, and then put it back into your collection and get more games. For example, I might sell the doubles that I don't need here and try and get a really rare game for the GameCube. Something like Cubivore or Gotcha Force. So instead of spending, $200 to $300 on one of those games, I can spend $360, get 24 games, keep half of them, have a console to sell to my friend, and also have all these trading pieces, sell off some, maybe make enough money, and that's how I can afford getting Cubivore or Gotcha Force. But all it takes is a little bit of luck, searching pretty consistently in your area locally if you can help it, and being really nice when you message the person. I could have very easily never said to the person, you just look it up on price charting, and I gave him the link, but because I did that, I think I was being really honest with him, and I thought he saw that and appreciated it, so he didn't even take the time, even though he had the opportunity and I gave him the link, to search up the value of all these games, and I was competing against 4 or 5 other people. He wanted to sell to me. I didn't mention that I have this channel. I didn't mention that I'd make a video or anything like that. He had no idea. I don't even know who he is. He doesn't know who I am. But it really worked out, and I got very lucky. Hey, just as a note, this video, when I'm filming it, I'm unbelievably close to 100,000 subscribers. So this means 100,000 is really soon. I have a very unique thing planned for the face reveal. Some of you are going to love it, I hope. And I've never really seen someone else do this kind of thing before. Maybe they have, I'm not really sure. So that's coming up really soon in the future, of course. Thanks so much for watching. Comment below, have you got any outstanding deals lately? And have you ever done something like this? Because I swear, you can build a Nintendo collection or a Sega collection or a PlayStation or Xbox collection the way I have, and it's basically free if you're really patient, willing to get lucky, and negotiate in a positive, respectful way. Hopefully things work out. Feel free to fill that like bucket by clicking the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel, help me push to that 100,000 subscribers. And let me know what is your favorite game out of all of these. Go collect them all. Keep smiling while gaming. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe.